Today, I'm embarking on the biggest trail project I've ever done on my channel. I'm going to completely tear apart this floater jump at my backyard trails and rebuild it from scratch. It's going to require weeks of shovel work, but hopefully it will all pay off. The problem now is that we need to break into this jump, only to try and regain speed for the big step up. You know what that means. More bigger. I want to divide this build into a few parts. The first order of business is resurfacing the previous jump to make sure we still have flow there. Then I'll work on the approach while getting dirt for the landing, ending with building the new lip. Let's get started by fixing up the shark fin we built back in January. I'm going to repeat the exact same process for the landing. Chop it up, apply new dirt, rake, and pack. Now that the first jump's taken care of, we can break ground on the big project. In short, the lip will be pulled back about 2.5 feet and made a little taller and steeper for a bit more punch, and the landing will get an actual case guard for safety with some extra width. This jump is way bigger than the camera makes it look, easily about 30 feet, so that means a lot of dirt has to be moved. Let's start with the landing, filling in the face of it to make it even and bring it up to the new height I want. I'm going to mine my dirt from before the lip so we can push the roller back and maintain a nice spread out feel. I got a solid 15 to 20 wheelbarrows on here and a great start to pushing the roller back. This dirt will go towards making the landing less steep and less sniper of an approach, which should ease the mind for first-time riders. The next order of business is extending the landing out to the left, which will require the most dirt of the project. Let's brute force our way through it and just go full send. See you on the other side. As I do with a lot of my larger builds, I made a shelf to stack dirt on the side for extra width. Doing this allows me to pack as I go by walking on it, and also make sure all the dirt gets put in the right spot since you have a flat surface to build off of. I recommend this technique for any time you widen a jump. As you stack closer to the top of the landing, there's less area for dirt to go to increase the height, so it actually makes it a little easier. This top part should be fairly quick to finish. So it's a relief that widening is done, but now there's the entire new task of making a case guard. This jump has never had one, and if it's your first time riding the line, this jump is terrifying. You had to be going the exact right speed with the exact right technique for this jump to work, and although I got used to it by lapping this trail so much, I realized how much work it actually needs. Let's use the same technique as we did on the side right here, making a shelf and stacking all the way up to the top. At the end, we should be left with a nice flat surface on top, hopefully about 18 to 20 inches wide. The first part of stacking was going pretty slowly because I previously dug a pit in between the gaps, so that entire thing needs to be filled for safety reasons and to make room for the new case guard. Poor planning by me, I guess. The rest should go a bit quicker. It has a case guard and width now, but something looks weird. It's awfully low, isn't it? I think landing on this would be better than before, but still a little sniper. Luckily, when I build extra width on a landing, I always add more than I think I need. So that means I have lots of room to increase the height and lots of room to still have a functioning case guard. So let's make this thing a little taller by adding dirt to the top. The last bit of dirt stacking for the landing of this jump is going to come from the run-in. We just have to smooth it out and make the approach super nice, putting all the dirt on the landing to fill in the gaps. I thought for a solid few minutes that this giant rock sitting in the middle of the trail could disrupt and ruin our project of the entire past few weeks. Luckily, I got it out and the rest was fairly easy. I know we've spent a lot of time on the landing so far, but again, this is a huge project and I want to make sure everything is perfect. We can finally finish it up by giving it a nice solid pack. There's no turning back now. This landing is done and I spent all day packing my shoulders off to make sure it stays intact with the summer heat. We aren't even close to done yet though, because I still have to move the entire lip. Here's where we're currently at. I left just enough dirt at the roller for what I hope can be the new lip. I'm going to start by completely tearing apart this old one and moving the dirt about 1 to 2 feet back. The next time you'll see this jump rideable is when it's done. This has already been a long one, so let's just push through it and I'll see you on the other side. is absolutely sick. I'm just as stoked as you are, and after waiting a few days, I finally decided to ride it. To be honest, I was pretty nervous despite knowing it would work, so I just went in and hoped for the best. As I got my laps in on this jump, one thing became crystal clear. The speed is perfect. It works just like I expected, the wide landing is awesome, and the whole thing is super darn smooth. I will be riding this lip so many times before it dries up to make sure it all stays intact over the dry season. That was a lot of work for one video, so I would greatly appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Next time, we'll continue revamping this awesome trail. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.